A surprisingly funny history of Stoicism. Welcome to Funny Filushupi. Chapter 1. Our story begins with Zeno of Citium. He was a merchant. Picture him loading up his ship with goods, probably purple dye, figs, maybe some fancy pottery. He sets sail, thinking, this trip is going to make me rich. And then, boom, disaster. His ship sinks. All his cargo gone, his money gone. His dream of being a successful merchant at the bottom of the sea. Now, let's be honest. If that happened to us today, we'd be devastated. Most of us would lock ourselves in our rooms, binge watch Netflix for a month, and eat too much ice cream. Yes, after a shipwreck, a bookstore. Zeno, he wanders into Athens, looking very much like a broke tourist, and decides to browse a bookstore. There, he finds a book about Socrates, the legendary philosopher who annoyed people by asking endless questions. Zeno is captivated. He asks the bookseller, "Where can I find men like this?" The bookseller points across the street and says, basically, "Oh, right there, that guy." And that's how Zeno, a failed merchant, reinvented himself as a philosopher. Stoicism was born not in a classroom, but out of disaster, randomness, and a really well-placed bookstore. Zeno started teaching at the Stoa Poikile, the painted porch. That's where the word Stoicism comes from. Imagine a long porch decorated with colorful murals, not exactly a private classroom. This was philosophy in the middle of a bustling marketplace, with pigeons flying around and merchants yelling about olives. So yes, Stoicism literally started on a porch. And honestly, that feels perfect because it was never meant to be locked up in a classroom. It was meant for everyday life. Chapter 2. The painted porch that inspired Stoicism. Imagine Athens. Around 300 BC, the agora, the public square, is buzzing. Merchants are selling goods, politicians are making speeches, and philosophers are, well, being philosophers. And right at the center of it all stands the Stoa Poikile, a long, majestic colonnade with tall Doric columns and colorful murals painted on its walls. These murals showed epic battles, heroes, and moments of civic pride. The Stoa wasn't just a porch, it was a symbol of public life in Athens. A place where people gathered, debated, and reflected. This was no quiet temple or hidden academy. The Stoa Poikile was open, public, democratic. Anyone could wander in. Citizens, foreigners, rich, poor, it didn't matter. And that openness is exactly why Zeno of Citium chose it as his classroom. Zeno had come to Athens after losing everything in a shipwreck. He studied philosophy, and when it was time to teach, he didn't hide his ideas in a private school like Plato's Academy. Instead, he planted himself right there, in the painted porch at the heart of daily Athenian life. Think about that. Zeno wanted philosophy to be lived out in public, in the noise and chaos of the city. Stoicism was never about escaping the world. It was about engaging with it, staying calm, rational, and virtuous, even when the marketplace was loud, or politics were messy, or life threw chaos at you. The Stoa Poikile wasn't just a background, it was the perfect stage. Its murals of battles reminded Athenians of struggle, courage, and resilience. Its columns provided shelter and stability. And its public space showed that philosophy wasn't just for elites, it was for everyone. So when people asked, "Where can I find this new teacher Zeno?" the answer was simple. Oh, he's at the Stoa. And soon, his followers became known not as Zeno's students, but as the people of the Stoa, the Stoics. One of the greatest schools of philosophy in history, named after a porch. The name stuck because it fit. The Stoic embodied the spirit of Stoicism, open to the public, grounded in civic life, decorated with reminders of struggle and resilience, and built to last. So whenever you try to practice Stoicism today, keeping calm, controlling your emotions, living with virtue, remember, the whole tradition began not in a palace or temple, but under the shade of a painted porch. Chapter 3. The absurd Stoics inspired by Zeno, the boxer who became a Stoic, Cleanthes. You ever feel like life's using you as a punching bag? Like, bam, bills, pow, deadlines, whack. Someone's drama that you didn't even ask for. Yeah, well, imagine living that life, but literally. Because there was once a guy in ancient Greece who was a real boxer. His name was Cleanthes of Assos, and somehow, this broke ex-fighter ended up becoming one of the calmest, wisest philosophers in history. How? Well, let's just say he met the right coach. Cleanthes used to throw punches for a living. But eventually, his career went downhill, his money disappeared, and his life turned into the ancient version of broke, but trying to stay positive. One day, he hears about this weird guy in Athens, a philosopher who teaches people how to stay calm no matter what happens. And not in some fancy private school like Plato's Academy, but in a public porch, the Stoic, where people shopped, argued, and probably complained about taxes. Cleanthes shows up thinking, hey, probably just another motivational speaker with a toga, but Zeno starts talking. You can't control what happens outside you, but you can control how you respond to it. And Cleanthes is like, wait, that's like the ancient version of don't take it personally, bro. After the talk, Cleanthes walks up to him and says, Master, I'm Cleanthes. I used to punch people for money. Now life's been punching me. Zeno just smiles and says, good, you already understand the lesson. From that day on, Cleanthes became Zeno's most loyal student. He studied during the day, worked at night carrying water to survive. People mocked him. There goes the water philosopher. But Zeno, he was proud. He's strong, Zeno said, not just in body, but in mind. Cleanthes learned that being stoic doesn't mean being emotionless. It means staying steady while the world tries to knock you down. One day, someone sneered, you call yourself a philosopher. You don't even have money. Cleanthes just smiled and said, maybe not, but I still own myself. Cleanthes proved that wisdom isn't just for the rich, the powerful, or the book smart. It's for anyone who's been punched by life and decided to stand back up. Because sometimes you can't dodge the punches life throws at you, but you can learn how not to fall. Years later, when Zeno passed away, guess who took over the Stoa? Yup, the broke boxer with the buckets. Cleanthes became the new head of the Stoic school. When Zeno passed away, Cleanthes was chosen to lead the Stoic school not because he was the most intellectually dazzling, but because he lived Stoicism more faithfully than anyone else. He did not dominate discussions or overwhelm students with clever arguments. As a teacher, Cleanthes focused on something deeper. He taught patience over haste, self-control over impulse, and harmony with nature over resistance to it. He believed the universe was governed by reason, and that human peace comes from accepting what lies beyond our control while mastering what lies within it. His most well-known work, the Hymn to Zeus, reflects this belief clearly. It is not a philosophical debate or logical treatise, but a prayer and expression of gratitude for the order of the world, even amid suffering. To Cleanthes, philosophy was never an escape from life's hardships. It was a way to stand firmly inside them with clarity and strength. At the end of his life, Cleanthes met death as he had met everything else, calmly and without resistance. When illness made it impossible for him to live according to his principles, he chose to stop eating, accepting death as a natural continuation of life's order. There was no fear, no spectacle, only quiet acceptance. His life did not end in fame, but in integrity. What can we learn from Cleanthes today? He reminds us that progress is built on consistency, not speed. That quiet effort often outlasts loud talent. That dignity comes from living in alignment with our values, even when no one is watching. In a world obsessed with visibility and recognition, Cleanthes teaches us that the strongest life is often the quietest one, steady, disciplined, and at peace with itself. How to practice Cleanthes Stoicism in the modern world. So how do we actually live Stoicism the way Cleanthes did here? Now, in a world shaped by globalization, speed, and constant noise, Cleanthes reminds us that Stoicism is not about withdrawing from the world, but about standing firmly within it. In modern life, we face pressures he never imagined. Endless notifications, social comparison, economic uncertainty, and global crises that feel far beyond our control. Cleanthes would tell us to begin with one simple rule. Separate what you can control from what you cannot. You cannot control the global economy, public opinion, or the pace of change, but you can control your response, your discipline, your honesty, your effort. Practicing Stoicism today might look like doing your work with care, even when no one praises you. It might mean staying calm in traffic, choosing patience over anger online, or accepting setbacks without letting them define your worth. Cleanthes also teaches us consistency. In a culture obsessed with fast success, Stoicism asks us to value daily effort over instant results. Show up. Do the right thing quietly. Improve a little each day. Whether you are a student, a worker, or a creator, Stoicism lives in the habits you repeat, not the attention you receive. And finally, Cleanthes teaches gratitude even for difficulty. Like his hymn to Zeus, we learn to see order in chaos, lessons in hardship, and meaning in endurance. Not everything happens for our comfort, but everything can shape our character. This has been a story from Funny Philosophy about how Stoicism was born from Zeno's shipwreck, strengthened by Cleanthes' quiet endurance, and passed down as a philosophy not of words, but of life. What story would you like to hear next? Another ancient philosopher, a forgotten thinker, or a modern lesson hidden in old wisdom? Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe to help this channel grow. And until next time, stay steady, stay curious, and live wisely.